In on your Sunday morning Premier League match day. It's Derby Day today. This is Football Talks. Before we get into all of the football and what might happen this afternoon, we're going through the morning papers. A weekly show here on Football Talks. If you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button as well to keep up to date with all of your Premier League content of relevance. Anyway, we love to go through all of the papers on the Sunday just to get up all of the news around the Premier League. Significant news as well. And today is no different. We're talking Chelsea, we're talking City, we're talking what Liverpool are going to do as well, and Arsenal in terms of the transfer window. All of the transfer speculation is coming up towards the back end of the show, so stick around for that. First of all, we're starting with Chelsea and Manchester City though, and Chelsea, yes. I was just talking on Forever United TV a moment ago about Giovanni Manna, the sporting director of Napoli, coming into London to talk to Chelsea and Manchester United over the possible transfer of Victor Osimhen. Now, Victor Osimhen, obviously, fantastic striker, and if you're looking at it from the outside, you're thinking Chelsea hold all the cards here. They have more money than Manchester United, and obviously they do have the card of being in Europe next season, which United definitely cannot guarantee at the moment. So the situation with Napoli is they don't want to sell Osimhen to another Italian club, so they're coming in to do a deal cheaper than the 63 million release clause on the contract of Victor Osimhen, so they can get the deal done quickly, starting from the 1st of June when the transfer window opens, with the new rules this summer kicking in, that being that the window opens a lot earlier. But the story behind Chelsea at the moment is an interesting one, and that is that they are actually in trouble with UEFA. Now, if you didn't see this story, this has been coming around the last few days and people have been talking about it, but what we are looking at here right now is the Sunday papers have gone into a little bit more detail on this. Burning bridges is the headline. Chelsea risk a ban from Europe after breaking UEFA's strict financial rules despite internal 200 million sale of the women's team. Now, you would have heard about this. The Blues recently sold their women's team for a world record 200 million. Due to Chelsea women being flogged to their sister company, Blueco 22 and Midco Limited. However, UEFA do not recognise the 200 million from the sale as revenue. UEFA rules dictate that clubs within its jurisdiction cannot make a loss of more than 170 million over 3 seasons. Now, we've talked about this a lot on FUTV about the PSR side of things, and that being that you cannot, over a 3-year period financially, go over or into the red by 115 million. It's more in UEFA, it's 170 million over 3 seasons. So that's what this is saying first of all. Deducting money raised through sales to their sister company, Chelsea's losses over the last 3 years are set to total 358 million. Although cash spent on the women's team, academy and infrastructure could yet deduct from the total. According to the Times, Blues Chiefs have entered talks with UEFA over reaching a settlement. Talking so they don't get into even more trouble. The two parties could agree upon sustainability plan in order to ensure that Chelsea comply with financial rules in the future. Todd Bowley and co are said to be relaxed regarding the situation, largely owing to their positive relationship with UEFA. Should the Blues break UEFA's financial rules again in the future, however, they would risk being banned from European competitions while finding themselves in hot water with UEFA. Chelsea are fine when it comes to the Premier League's financial rules. So, Chelsea financial situation and where we're at with it right there breaks it down. UEFA haven't recognised the 200 million that Chelsea have put down for selling their women's team. It's a transaction between a co-owned company, which is what is being argued by Manchester City at the moment with the Premier League. Just to give you an example of this, Chelsea right now in this situation, with what's happening with City in the Premier League, would not have an issue with PSR on this occasion. But they have got an issue with UEFA, and they do have to comply if they're going to be competing in Europe next season, which it looks like they will be doing. Worst case scenario, maybe the Europa League for Chelsea. But right now, you look at the Victor Osimhen situation, for instance, and you break everything down. Chelsea's finances, having to be very careful. What is this sustainability agreement that is going to be brought in place? Can Chelsea be going out and spending fortunes on players this summer? Obviously, if they're in the Club World Cup and the riches that brings is an advantage to Chelsea, but obviously the transfer of Victor Osimhen could come before that. So realistically, what you're looking at here is Chelsea running a very, very fine line, but I guarantee you this is simply because City are about to absolutely devastate the Premier League with the club ownership situation and sponsorship deal from within. And this is what Chelsea have done. They've sold to a sister company at an inflated price to balance their financial fair play books. They have found a loophole which nobody else has got because Chelsea's team is so valuable and the women's team is so valuable. And this is where Chelsea have taken advantage of the finances of maybe being in a better position in London to perhaps sell a hotel like they have done. Their 2 hotels are more valuable because they're situated in Chelsea and they're a lot more. And they've sold them as well. So Chelsea's balancing of books has been used from selling things to their own companies that own or are part of Chelsea. And that's what UEFA are not recognising right now. And this just looks like Chelsea trying to con the system to a lot of people. And I feel like this is where the situation is and why a lot of people are probably getting a little bit upset with how Chelsea are being able to get away with this more than anybody else. And this is why it's been reported. And I've seen a few other people, a few other content creators talking about this. And they are right. And it is and doesn't seem very fair right now. But I mean, I'll come to the comment section on this and give you your opinions on it. And just be honest and tell me what you think about it. Because it looks like they're probably going to get away with it, is what we're looking at here again. And that, I think, is why it's going to start really annoying a lot of fans again. It's like, what powers do these associations actually have? The federations seem to be buckling to all of these big clubs with rich owners right now. And it doesn't seem like there is any... It doesn't seem like there are any rules that anybody's willing to abide by. Right? Everyone else is scraping the barrel. Chelsea and City seem to be doing whatever they bleeding want. And that's the embarrassing thing, I think, for the Premier League and UEFA, and to a certain degree FIFA right now as well. Gareth says, Adam, you know the transfer window opens sooner for Chelsea than United? Yes, I said that on the previous show, mate. It is for the clubs in the Club World Cup. And that's the problem we've got. So, realistically, Chelsea and their financial situation right now is of them needing to get everything settled to take advantage of this transfer window opening. United are still in and trying to negotiate a deal for Victor Osimhen because the window is opening sooner, and obviously Napoli are looking to make a deal. So they're going to take advantage of anybody who's interested in Osimhen. If Chelsea come in with something, then Napoli would say, okay, when the window opens for you, United, do you want to offer more than what Chelsea are offering? And try and get this deal done. So they're using and leveraging the new window to try and get a negotiation going between Chelsea and United and getting a deal that suits them so they don't have to sell Osimhen in the summer. This whole situation around Chelsea right now and the selling of assets to themselves needs to be looked at a lot more, I feel, because they're taking advantage of location, they're taking advantage of rules, and they're taking advantage of another club which is taking the Premier League to court in Manchester City, I think, here. And it all works out between this so-called sponsorship for ownership situation. And it is an absolute minefield. I just feel like the Premier League and UEFA, I feel like their members, as in the clubs, are just fully now feeling more powerful than the actual federations themselves. And there's always a way out of it. And Chelsea's relationship, like reported here by the Times, with UEFA, and that being so good. I mean, what about everybody else? It doesn't matter if you've got a good relationship with them. Our rules are rules. And they apparently have broke them. So how are Chelsea being let off with this? If UEFA don't recognise this 200 million from the women's team, then why are Chelsea getting away with it? Their books are solely balanced off the back of this. Otherwise, it's 350 million in debt over the last 3 years when it comes to a financial fair play period of the last 3. So it's, again, you're like, okay, slap on the wrist, let's put a sustainability plan in place. Why? Because there's probably money being exchanged all over the place, and Chelsea are part of this new FIFA Club World Cup as well. So again, it's like what federations are involved, and yeah, there you go. Anyway, let's get into some more comments on this one. Sort of like how Barca sold their box seat rights or whatever to have enough funds to register Dani Olmos and other players. Yet teams literally selling everything that they have got asset-wise to fall in line with the financial rules that are in place right now. And it does look like there is always a way out. This just to sort of like round it up a little bit. It looks like it doesn't matter about the rules, and that's the annoying thing about it. It looks like teams are always going to find a way through, and that's the concerning side of things for everybody else, I think, involved in football or part of UEFA and FIFA or even the Premier League and their own countries' federations as well, to that matter. It's scary times ahead, and I don't see how they can hold anybody accountable for anything or any wrongdoing right now. If this is the case, like Chelsea have literally just jumped through the biggest loophole ever by selling what they've got themselves to themselves and said that's okay. And UEFA have gone, no, it's not okay, but we like Chelsea because we've got a good relationship with them. So let's find a deal there that works for both. Yeah. Money, 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 money. That is all it is. Anyway, enough on that, but keep your comments coming in on that and Chelsea and everything that's happening right now with them. I want to move on to Manchester City's chase to try and replace one of the best midfielders that has played in the Premier League in Kevin De Bruyne. Like I said, as a United fan, everybody knows you hold your hands up to absolute quality. I had to take it with Mo Salah. Brilliant. Kevin De Bruyne announcing that he is going to leave Manchester City at the end of the season has obviously got all of the speculation columns running riot. And apparently there is a chance, according to the Sunday papers, that Manchester City could be going in for Florian Wirtz, who is probably the next best thing. The Bayer Leverkusen attacking midfielder who has worked wonders under Xabi Alonso over there in the Bundesliga. Obviously, the unbeaten season last season for Leverkusen, lifting that trophy. They're featured in the Champions League this season. Not had as good a season, but obviously after the Lord Mayor show, you expect a little bit of a come down, don't you? And I think Chelsea are in the middle. So not Chelsea, Leverkusen are in the middle of that right now. Are still comfortable to finish in the Champions League positions in the Bundesliga right now. Financially, I don't think are really that bad off, considering what they're winning. But Florian Wirtz is a player that is on the radar for anybody who is anybody. He is the next best thing out there in terms of absolute elite players, it would seem. I can't even argue the quality of this player. I think he's absolute mustard. Honestly, he is brilliant. And if City get him, it is concerning for the rest of the league because they are just replacing brilliance with brilliance. And you could argue all day long, will he be better than Kevin De Bruyne? I don't think so. De Bruyne is one on his own. He's brilliant. Wirtz could be. And if you were looking for potential to replace quality, this is the transfer that you would make. But is it not concerning again that Manchester City are just able to go bang? There's probably going to be £100 million signing again for Manchester City in everything that's going on right now, in all of the rules and obviously the regulations that have probably been broken by Manchester City. We're waiting to hear about the 115 charges. They're giving 10-year contracts to players in the middle of January, in the middle of a season in Erling Haaland. They're giving transfer fees or paying transfer fees which dwarf anything that's been seen in a transfer window in January over the years by anybody. They are taking the absolute mick. And again, you've got two clubs here at the top of the agenda on this show here and the reports going around, which are just flexing muscle and financial muscle, which nobody can compete with. You could argue to a point, Newcastle, if these new rules kick in about own sponsorship deals that they can sponsor themselves and make up whatever price that they want to pump in money into their own clubs, avoiding financial fair play issues. That's it. Chelsea and City are a rule on their own right now, it seems. And it just makes you wonder, like, City have got plenty of money. Obviously, they've won a lot recently and they can balance the books that way. But does it not just seem wrong right now with everything going on that they are out there doing what they're doing unable to do what they're doing, well, all of this is going on. And again, it just shows the clubs are more powerful than the actual federations. And these rules count for nothing. City and Chelsea are going to open up a can of worms here, which is going to destroy the Premier League. Wirtz on his own. I mean, let's stick to the player and the quality of the player straight away. Glenn, first of all, with a super chat. Thank you very much, mate. Don't know if it was an urban legend, but people used to talk about Madrid selling their training ground multiple times, then giving it back. Yeah, I know. It's similar. It is similar situations to that. The big clubs find a way. Whether or not other big clubs will now jump onto this bandwagon, or have got the capabilities of it, obviously, because you need to be in prime locations and have standing anyway to get decent money for these assets that you've got. So I don't know if that is doable for every single club, but everybody will look at it and go, is that actually fair? I don't know. Unfortunately, the situation with football now is money dictates everything. It is, Andrew, sadly. Wirtz is a £100 million player. Wirtz is class 100 to 120 million easily. Actually, get in the comment section. If City were to buy Florian Wirtz, what price do you reckon City would have to pay Leverkusen for Wirtz? I'm gonna put my price right on there right now. City will have to pay 105 million at least. 105 million is what is going to get this deal done. That's what Florian Wirtz is going to bring in for Leverkusen. Easy. Give me some more offers in the comment section there, everybody, as well. Ant says people are sleeping on Mamouche too. He's a top player. If he gets Wirtz behind him, oh my God, yeah. Two players that absolutely destroy the Bundesliga in Mamouche and Florian Wirtz. That is a dangerous team. Honestly, City are more dangerous without Haaland. If you had Mamouche and Wirtz in there, my God, that would be dangerous. And look, I'm not saying that Haaland isn't a quality player. I just think that Manchester City are even more dangerous. And that is a worry for me today ahead of the Manchester derby as a United fan. I think City are more dangerous today without Haaland in the team. I don't think he's done well in Manchester derbies, apart from the obvious hat-trick one. And he's popped up with the odd goal here and there for Manchester City. But still, I just don't see Manchester City operating the same without Haaland, but in a good way for them and a bad way for everyone else. I think Mamouche will give United more problems than what Haaland would. And adding Florian Wirtz to that Manchester City squad, you have to say, is them pretty much laying their marker down and saying, we have had a bad season, but we are spending a fortune again on Pep Guardiola, who needs fortune spending on him to do anything. And what's he spent so far? I mean, from announcing that he's staying, they brought in, around about £160 million worth of players in January. Wirtz is going to be another £100 million plus player. So instantly, within 6 months of Pep signing this deal, they've spent $250 million on new players for him. Again, and they will spend more than just that this summer, I feel. I think there'll be more players coming in for Manchester City. Whether or not they want a goalkeeper replacement for Edison, who's supposedly off to the Saudi Pro League as well. It's going to be a mad old summer. And other clubs are going to struggle to keep up with the spending power of the likes of Chelsea and Manchester City, because they are also in the Club World Cup, both of them. And with the riches that brings as well, it gives them the power. City could go and win that Club World Cup and go, bang, there you go. There's the 100-odd million for Florian Wirtz, just like that. Because that's the riches that competition brings. No other club can compete with that in the Premier League, apart from Chelsea, who have just got what it seems a free ride from UEFA for their misdemeanours and being able to sell to themselves as well to corrupt the financial fair play rules. Does it not seem a little bit out there and a little bit outrageous now that this is actually happening? And now it looks like there is one rule for one and not for another. And this is what City are arguing against with the Premier League, for God's sake. That it's unfair on them. And look what they're doing. These rules don't help City. And it is discriminating against them as a smaller club and not one of these historian clubs that have been successful. They feel that these rules help the bigger clubs that have been there longer. And because they want to come and bounce onto the scene, they don't like it. And they will win their case against the Premier League. They've already won one and they will win it again. And the rules will change. And they will change to favour both Manchester City and Chelsea. And everybody else has to try and then find a way to jump onto this bandwagon to try and compete. And then everything starts spiralling even more with the financial side of football. It is an absolute minefield that's about to be opened up by Manchester City. And they seem to be just doing whatever they want. And this new Club World Cup is only going to help them go out and just spend whatever they want this summer and try and get better again and build another squad for Pep Guardiola. It will happen. I reckon City will spend over 250 million alone just this summer on players because they can. And they will be able to. They will have new sponsorship deals in place from their own companies where they don't have to abide by market value and then can bump up them. The Club World Cup will bring them a load of riches. They will finish quite highly in the Premier League as well and all of that will come. Obviously, they're about to open their new hotel and everything as well on the back end of the new stadium. Not new stadium, the old stadium at the Etihad, but a new section of it is opening up there, which is going to bring more finances and riches to them. Obviously, they're going to have a bigger capacity if they can fill it. They'll get more match day revenues. And this is what they will say is how they're abiding by these rules. But the argument will always be how they got there. And all of this going on is completely going over the top of the bigger issue, which is the 115 charges, which we were supposed to have heard about by now in terms of the verdict. So what is happening? They have to be around the corner, these verdicts and what's happening with everything going on. But yeah, you're looking at you could say it's corrupting the system. I don't know how else to describe it because it's just going to be open season for everybody. And the Premier League's power is completely diminished, just like UEFA's is with Chelsea. And again, here we go. What happens with everybody else? We'll see. And Chelsea, Newcastle, for instance, won't hold back now. Their owners will be like, nah, we're having none of this. Bang, in come them. Okay, let's get through some more comments on this. I'd hate for Wirtz. I back Leverkusen as a Manchester United fan. Agreed, Haaland is a lethal striker but incredibly one-dimensional. Mamouche is versatile and tricky. City can spend fortunes as they will get away with all of their charges. 100 million will bring in Wirtz, says Gareth as well. Haaland City's now Quinn, whereas Mamouche is their Aguero. Henry says, the question you have to ask yourself, Adam, is are they breaking PSR rules? Chelsea and City would have been done by now. So what's the reason, Adam? Well, they're not breaking PSR rules now, mate. That's the thing. But it's how they're making them rules fit their systems. They feel like they should be given even more powers. They're not breaking rules because they're earning money through winning trophies right now, and that's the new rules that are in place. City and Chelsea right now will never be in the same boat as a Forest or an Everton like last season. Never going to happen. They have too much money coming in and they can easily balance their books. With selling a player or with doing what Chelsea did with the winnings that come in, the Club World Cup now being in place, they're never going to fall short of it. They sell academy players for 100% profit as well. You look at Cole Palmer, you look at James Trafford. There alone, you've got about £80 million worth of 100% profit for PSR and easy enough to balance them out. There are other players that has also been sold by City from their academy, and Chelsea do it by the bucket load, don't they, as well? That's how they're getting away with it now. The argument is how they got to this stage to be able to do what they're doing now. And nobody's talking about that. I want to move on back end of the show. Well over 200 in the room with us. Thank you, everybody. Over 50 likes as well. I love that. Let's get them up and see how many we can actually get. Keep your comments flooding in as well, everyone. But, yeah, moving on to other news as well. Obviously, we know that Trent Alexander-Arnold is leaving at Liverpool, and the reports this morning are the shortlist has been made by Liverpool, and Anthony Robinson from Fulham is right at the top of that list. And yeah, Chelsea City, Liverpool are actually now shortlisting their candidates to come in and replace Trent. Look, it's the worst kept secret in football. And that is that Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to be heading to Madrid this summer. But they are looking at the replacements already. And Robinson is at his peak. He's at his peak years as a footballer, the report said, and he's 27. The one downside is his cost, and Fulham would want around 50 million for their skipper, who will have 3 years left on his 5-year agreement if he signed that he signed in 2023. So Liverpool want Robinson. I think he's a great replacement for Trent. Honestly, he's perfect, but Liverpool are going to have to spend big. And this all brings up the argument that I made the other day about letting Trent go and keeping him. Did you need to keep him? They could have sold him and that could have funded this deal for Robinson. But no. Yes, Liverpool are in the Champions League next season. They have the riches of that to balance their books. But losing out on 100% profit from Trent Alexander-Arnold, that would have just given them the edge to even maybe go and compete with the likes of Manchester City for Florian Wirtz and take him in and play in that front three for Liverpool or just behind. That would have been a great signing for Liverpool. They should be competing for the signature of Wirtz with Manchester City. They are the champions of the Premier League. That is clear for everybody, especially after yesterday's results. My God, Arsenal and Bleeding Forest going out on a whimper. Both dropping points. It's just there, isn't it? Like a cakewalk for Liverpool. You might as well give them the trophy now. It's all over. The champions of England losing their best players and not bringing in or competing with the likes of Manchester City and Chelsea for these big signatures of players. It seems a bit strange again, doesn't it? And I asked Liverpool fans, are you a bit miffed off that there is no investment in this squad forthcoming? And if you are struggling to bring in a replacement for Trent Alexander-Arnold, does that also start to knock you off a little bit? Because you really should be spending a lot of money considering spending nothing last season. You should have at least, I reckon, 250 million worth to spend to fit within PSR with what they have brought in this season. Obviously, they are looking to sell the likes of Diaz possibly, Jota's on the cards. Nunez is also another player. Hearing that Harvey Elliott could be sold by Liverpool as well in the Exodus. Really, Liverpool need to be bringing in 6 or 7 players next season. Quality players, because I feel like they are going to lose a few. It's going to be a really interesting summer for them because I think what City are doing and the Liverpool fans, I think, will be expecting to, be competing at least when it comes to next season again. They will want to defend their title. And everything that's going on with the other clubs is to catch them up. And this is what Liverpool haven't done, really. They haven't been able to sustain like City have, winning the title. It's been one season on, one season off for Liverpool pretty much. So I think Liverpool fans would want a little bit more consistency. And that's only going to come, in my opinion, if they go out and spend big in the transfer market. In terms of other teams that need to improve their team, I do believe that Arsenal will go out of the Champions League too. Real Madrid, and that will end their chances of winning silverware. And then the question is on Arteta. The papers are also saying today that Arsenal, and I'll just read the story, Arsenal could be forced to change their transfer plans after Mikel Arteta admitted there are big question marks over how some of their key players will recover from surgery. Arsenal's Premier League title bid was derailed this season by injuries in several top stars. Come on, let's not use that. They're using the excuse here. Bukayo Saka has just returned after 3 months out of action with a serious hamstring problem, while Gabriel, Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus have all suffered season-ending injuries. Hearing that Gabriel is now out as well. That's the word going around. Jesus is recovering from knee surgery. Gabriel and Havertz require surgery after suffering hamstring injuries. And the story is that they may need to go out and buy even more in the summer, because they're not expecting these injured players to come back as strong as they was before. And that's Arsenal's situation right now with the transfers. If you're an Arsenal fan as well right now, are you not concerned or fearing the worst case going into next season? Liverpool will win the league. They will get stronger. They're going to spend big. City are already planning a massive summer. Chelsea are coming strong. When the sponsorship rule for ownership, like I was talking about before, gets absolutely demolished by City, Newcastle are going to be stronger and go in and flex their muscle regarding financial fair play as well. Arsenal, I don't see what they have got. I don't see what Arsenal can do except try and abide by the PSR rules like everybody else. And I don't see how they can compete. they have got too many issues in their squad. If they're worried about, and like I said, if you bring a striker into Arsenal, I think they're good, but they've got to try and hold on to Saliba, who Real Madrid want in the summer. If they're concerned about the injury situation, these players not actually coming back strong enough, or concerned about the long-term future of these players, and then Arsenal really are up against it, and they will be the one concern, I think, for next season to drop out of that top 4. Chelsea are going to come, Newcastle will come, Liverpool, City, they're going to come as well, and someone has to drop. And if I had to pick somebody right now, going off what all of these financial fair play rules and loopholes that we've been talking about on the show are going to actually impact, Arsenal are the ones that are worse off. I think they really are the ones that could struggle with this, because I think their team is going to be attracting attention from other clubs. And obviously you could sell Saliba or another one of them players and make big money, and that's how Arsenal compete. But then you've got to replace one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League, and that's not easy. Calafiori himself, who they brought in the summer, has also missed about, 20-odd games this season. I think it is 22 or something like that. So the situations of Arsenal and Liverpool going into this transfer window, and you look at the likes of what Manchester City are dealing with, it just looks like City are just going to go back, reset, and then come again next season and blow everybody away. It looks like that's what it is. With Liverpool losing their players, bang, we've won the Premier League. No history of them being consistent at all in winning anything back-to-back like City have. Arsenal, I just don't think they can compete with the power of Manchester City. They will fall away as well. I don't see Nottingham Forest, no disrespect, being able to sustain another charge. But Chelsea will come strong, Newcastle will come strong, and they have the foundation and the finances. Liverpool will be fine financially. City, we know they're going to get away with it. Chelsea, they're getting away with it. Newcastle, rich owners, they're going to actually come up to the fore soon enough. And then you've got to start thinking, like the likes of Forest, United, Aston Villa, all of these other clubs, like, how do we compete? How do we compete with that when the rules are being bent so much? That's what I think is the biggest story in all of this today. The Florian Wirtz, bang, wow, great player, fantastic. How City are getting him or how they got to this stage is what we're talking about. How do Liverpool actually get the right players in to replace their players that have got them to this stage? And can Arsenal actually compete at that top level against, I don't really want to use the word corruption, but it's there, isn't it, for everyone? You make your own minds up about it. And please do drop your comments in as well in the comment section after this video is finished on all of these subjects, because I would like to see how everybody sees this. Also, quickly, let's get into some of the the live chats before we finish up. Arsenal are the only club on the planet that never has to deal with injuries. We all need to feel terrible for them. Yeah, like where was everybody's sympathy for Manchester United and all of our injuries? Or Tottenham's? Or Manchester City's? They're still up there competing, aren't they? Like Arsenal cannot use the injury excuse. Guys, really sorry to ask again, but does anyone here know Block trying to sort tickets for him, but can't find his contact details anywhere? I don't know if Block is actually in the chat now. I'm sure some of the mods will try and help out with that one as well. Maybe drop a comment in on the video afterwards, is what I would say, Brian. Try and maybe put a comment in on the show after it is finished, and Block can reply to that. I'm sure there is a social that he could get to, or he could give you a point of contact as well in there. But yeah, I'm sure he's on social media as well, mate, so maybe you'll be able to DM him or something like that. But my best guess is to just put a comment in, mate, and I'm sure he will come back to it. And I think the mods or anybody that might know him or anything like that will try and help out as well with that one. Andrew says, Stephanie, yes, but I can't see us challenging at the top next season. We are too far behind in our rebuild. Adam's right when he says the top 6. I think so. Yeah. And Brian, you could always DM me on social media as well, mate. DM me on my Instagram or on Twitter, mate, as well. Then are in the bottom of the description on Forever United TV. They're all over there, mate, anyway. Just click on one of the links on the main page on Forever United TV and we'll get you in touch with Block if we can, mate. But that is it for now, everybody. Thank you so much. That's our Sunday morning roundup show. The Manchester Derby is later on. I'll be back on Forever United TV later on as well with the warm-up, around about 12:30, everyone. So I'll see you all there then on that one. And of course, we will be back with an evening show tonight live. Hopefully me and Jay can be talking. I'll have all of the content from outside of Old Trafford as well. It's going to be a busy old afternoon for me, but an exciting one as well at the same time. I'm going to go rest, get some breakfast, get myself ready for what is going to be an epic day, hopefully. Thank you, everybody. Give a video a like on the way out. Make sure you've subscribed to Football Talks. I'll see you all later on Forever United.